What it is, what it is.
Back in the house.
Back in the building.
And, celebrating the end of the combine. So that is always exciting.
Oh,
Clay from Brooklyn, Football with the Fellas. Who am I here with?
it's your man Mazo, all about Big Blue. And down there, that guy over there, who's that?
Casey from the gym.
Casey from the gym, what's up?
What's up? Back to the third tour of duty. Great to be back with the fellas.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you.
Appreciate you back. Appreciate you coming back in here.
All right.
And so, we just sat through 4 days of craziness at the combine. All kinds of stuff was going on. And I'm just curious to hear if any of you had some immediate takeaways that you want to share before we, do a deeper dive.
I want more picks. That's what it is.
What?
Me, I wanted more than the fifth pick, but because there's a couple of guys that we could definitely use. And Casey, let me tell you, in our last episode, I said to Clay from Brooklyn, I told him I've kind of come over to his side, partially not taking the wide receiver with the fifth pick. If I can get it later, because the wide receiver group is pretty deep, so I can say we can take it in a later round. But I guess the big thing for me is that everybody's talking about who? Mr. Styles, right?
Mr. Styles.
Everybody's talking Sonny Styles. So to me, he'd be great on our team at 5. I'd love to have him.
Yes.
Basically, that's quite the 180 you've done. And in episode, what are we up to here? Gentlemen, what are we up to? Episode what? 150 you guys got? You guys got a lot of material
more than
out
that,
there.
like 240.
Yeah,
And basically, you have, even before I had the privilege of joining on air, I was in agreement with you last year on Judkins. I was telling Clay, I said, we need a running back. We need to hand the ball to some person. Scottaboo was my guy even before the draft. True or untrue, Clay?
Absolutely.
I said that was the guy. So I'm happy we got him. So I got to tell you a brief 30-second story. My job requires me to get up hours before the sun. I have the fellas on. I'm listening to you and your guys, Kenneth Dale. And I'm going to be honest with you, Mason. They also won me over. I couldn't believe it. I was ready. I was wide receiver. I didn't want to do it. If it was a movie, it would have been soft music in the background.
Right.
When the change of heart happens.
Guys, welcome. We got
See?
nothing but love for you over here on the defensive side.
This pragmatic approach is not fun. Frankly, kind of boring. But when you are coming off of 3-win, 4-win,
right,
5 wins, and we have had a lot of splashy picks.
Yeah.
And not really any of them have really turned out.
Didn't work out at all. They weren't football players.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping we got some sticks in the fire, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Of ones that could turn out.
Yes.
But I'm won over, hence my background. If we could have an off season coming away with my man Mr. Downs and Daniel Bellinger, I would call it a off season enough. But I'm going to be honest with you, Clay. Usually I'm NFL Network 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Olympic hockey took my attention there for a little bit. It tried its best. I'm back, but I was wondering, Clay, can I turn to Antemazo? If you could, for viewers that are tuning in now that we're into free agency and getting revved up this week, if you could bullet point for us 3 major takeaways, Giants related, out of this combine, what would they be? Go.
Mazo, you want to go first?
You got it. Let me see.
So
I basically gave us one more picks.
Yeah, definitely more picks.
I would say the absolute depth of great defensive players in the top 10 is like everybody. There were a lot of people who you wanted to see what their numbers would be, just to make sure that the tape didn't lie, right? Just to make sure, because here's what I'm saying this backwards. I'll say it the other way. The Ohio State defense was stacked.
Yes.
Stacked. they're
Yes.
probably going to have 4 first-round picks, right? Caden McDonald, nobody's really even talking about him, but he was a great run-stuffing defensive tackle. He's probably going to go in the first, certainly the second round. And obviously, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, and Caleb Downs are. So when there's that many great players, and that wasn't all, but that those 4 are going early, you kind of wonder, are any of them individually as good? Or were they just
Ah,
in such a great system with such great athletes? I mean, this is college, right? I mean, 7 or 8 games out of their schedule were against teams that had no shot from the opening kickoff.
it's true.
So seeing these kind of numbers from a Sonny Styles, from an Arvell Reese, really reinforces that no, they're just really good. They're not just all sharing in a great meal. They are individually good
Oh
ingredients.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was
So
gonna
that was
say
my
that.
big takeaway. And even let me just say
Yeah,
one more
yeah.
thing. Not even just the top 10. There were some people like Jacob Rodriguez who had, really good numbers, but you wondered, is he athletic enough? Inside linebacker, but is he too slow? And then he ran a 4.57 and had, really good explosive numbers in terms of the broad jump and the high jump and the vertical leap. So you're like, oh, okay, so this guy is athletic enough to play the position. So that was my takeaway, that there's a lot of good defensive players. I know you guys want a wide receiver in the second round. I'm not even sure I can go wide receiver in the second round, but
I know he's gonna
we'll come back to that.
do
Yeah.
that. If
Uh,
we had a third round pick, you would go for it.
Yes, yes.
my,
I think I seen one big point I've seen is the athleticism of this group. I mean, all the groups, all the different groups, line, the backs, the receivers. This is probably one of the most athletic groups that I've seen. And we need that. The Giants need that. Definitely need it. You
Yes.
know, we
You can use some
I get
speed.
tired of seeing guys get past and they can't catch up to a guy or they can't run past the guy.
Right.
And we could get that. Now, Casey, I would say, in my heart of hearts, I still want that receiver at 5. But I put on my John Harbaugh hat, and I'm thinking Harbaugh, he goes up he wants strength up the middle. So I'm thinking Styles, definitely there. We get Styles, we poach. Was it Linderbaum?
Linderbaum
Linderbaum, we poach him.
Mhm.
Now we got the line set pretty well right there. I hear we're gonna poach
Christian
Likely.
Wilkins.
No. Oh, Christian's there too. We want Christian
Christian.
also.
Mhm.
No, Likely from the
Oh, likely. Mhm.
and because I don't know if you heard, Harbaugh made a statement that a slot receiver can be big or he can be small. And he pointed to Mr. Likely, who actually played some slot while he was, with the former team. I'll say the former team. So
he sold you.
he saw me. He saw me.
So
What about you?
here's what I'm thinking. Here I this is why the show is so great, is you guys are winning me over already, because if you have this much uncertainty in the top 15 of who the top 15 are, how important is it to be in the top 15? That's like my takeaway. So like, if you're right, Ohio State guys, great. Team, great. Those guys, but outside of Downs, Arvell Reese had a great, he had a huge first Saturday of the year playing Texas. Arch Manning was about 3 for 18, looking terrible. And now all of a sudden, all these Ohio State guys are on it. And God bless them. I think that they're going to be great NFL players. But I am still on your original take, Clay, of, is it that they're great, or are they the best players in what is some consider to be a mediocre draft? So I still think that there's a lot of pieces to be excited about. I'm still feeling it, but we're pretty far, 60 days out-ish. And usually at this point, as Giant fans, we've been accustomed to knowing that we're going to draft Malik Neighbors at number 6. We are going to try to draft, Drake May. We are going to draft Abdul Carter. And the fact that we're still deciding between Ruben Bain, Jeremiah Love, Downs,
Right.
everyone. I'm like, well, is that because all these guys are so talented, or is that because we're just trying to get smoke around somebody, something, building some momentum? Which brings me to my next point is what is this noise coming out of the combine about running back? Oh,
Right, right. I was gonna bring it up. I was gonna bring
uh,
that up.
it
I think
feels
it's
a
a
little
smoke
too
screen right
real.
now, honestly, with Jeremiah Love. I think what I actually think is a strategic move they're thinking of. Who needs running back? Right? Who needs running back? I can see the Giants say, hey, we'll take him, but we'll even we might even trade our second pick. But what we're gonna do is give me 1 or 2 of your guys and give me picks. Give me picks. I
I
can see
mean,
it happening. It can happen.
it could happen. It could happen.
But I just
It
don't
would
want to lose
break
out
my
on
heart
our
if
guy,
we
our defense
draft
guy.
Jeremiah Love. If we draft Jeremiah Love, I am sharpening my pitchfork and I'm heading down to 1925 Giants draft.
I there's
Unless
Max
it's the
later.
trade, like you said, unless
There,
it's immediate trade. Like if we take him fifth and we trade before the sixth pick happens, sure. But for that, we might as well trade him before we might as well trade the pick before we actually took him.
That's the NBA draft model. They draft guys and
yeah,
then
yeah,
they
yeah,
make them go up, they get the hat, they get the jersey,
yeah.
and they're on the
And then they
Denver
go.
Nuggets for 11 and a half minutes.
Like Eli Manning was.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
yeah, no,
true.
I hear you, and I have been hearing a lot about that. I've been hearing about Kenneth Walker, about this interest in Kenneth
Yeah,
Walker. I, our running game is not the problem. It's just not. Like our running backs are solid. They're not necessarily, perennial Pro Bowlers, but they're very solid.
Or close to the problem.
no, yeah,
Like not
Given how many problems we have,
yeah. Yeah. If you were to make a list of problems, I mean, running
they
back
wouldn't be.
is
No, they wouldn't
not
be. Wouldn't naming them. I
would
would. I'm
not
looking at it. I don't want to spend that much money on the back
no,
when I have bigger holes to fill right now.
no.
Much bigger holes.
So I don't even I guess like I said, which tells me a little bit about the strength of the draft. It concerns me that they're trying to get momentum of like they really might pick Jeremiah Love and no one really seems to care. Like in terms of like, all right, knock yourself, you do you. Is a little bit of it was a concern coming out. And the Kenneth Walker story coming out of the combine, you're gonna get an unmotivated Kenneth Walker who just won a Super Bowl and is purely gonna would be making a money move. You're leaving
right,
the Super
Right.
Bowl
right,
champion. Like that's not something that's interesting to me
at
either.
all, at
We
all.
didn't think about Kenneth Walker before the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden he has a good game, and I want him now. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm just
I'm
not
back.
there.
I'm with you.
He's a
Yeah.
good player. If they cut him, sure.
Oh, well, yeah.
If they cut him and he comes for a tryout, he'll probably make the team. But I'm not trying to spend, $15 million a year just to get a little bit better at running back.
And you might not there because you still need somebody to block for him,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's
So
still a question mark.
and I know I've gone back and forth on this, but I just read something today that
Uh-oh.
Tyler Linderbaum is probably going to cost us more than $20 million a year. His average salary might be like $22-23 million a year. I don't want him for that.
No,
I don't want him for that because, again, best upgrade available is my philosophy, not best player available. The upgrade from JMS to Linderbaum is significant. He's certainly better, but it's not nearly as important as the upgrade over, say, a Tyler Nubin or a Deontay Banks. And
oh my
if I've
God.
got to go from, $5 million a year for JMS to $22 million a year for Tyler Linderbaum, I
Right.
just spent $17 million extra dollars to get somewhat better at center. Well, with $17 million, I could have got a whole lot better at cornerback or at safety, and those are bigger holes to me.
Right. Right.
So I don't want him for 22 million. Now, if he's going to come here for, 17.5, 18, sure. But I don't want him for more than 20. And I know that's going to be unpopular, but
I think it's where people who don't want the Giants to win, like that might be what I think.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with you, and I think like you don't want to like they happened last year with Paulson Adebo. Like, okay, they're
Right.
he's better than what was there, but
Right.
he's making not mediocre money.
Yeah, I believe he's
He's
making 15 million a year, if I remember correctly.
yeah, like that is a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot of
3
money.
years, 45 million, I believe, was his salary, was his contract. That's a
Yeah.
lot for a guy who, I mean, and I wanted him, right? He's somebody I've been talking about for a year and a half, but I didn't want him for $45 million necessarily. And I thought he'd be better than he is. I think he's a CB2, but
I'm
we
thinking
have
it's the
as
scheme.
our
I'm really
CB1.
thinking it's the scheme. I'm telling you. I think the scheme is like I want to see a new scheme in there because that one didn't work at all. And we made no changes during the year. We actually only thing we should have changed was the defensive coordinator a whole lot earlier. It was
Yeah.
terrible. It was terrible.
Yes.
This is gonna I want you to drive us back into Mazo and Clay into the combine in a second, but to your Paulson Adebo point, does Cordell Flott make more or less than Paulson Adebo next year on a new deal?
Oh, less. I just looked it up. Adebo actually makes 18 million a year. He got 3 million, 3 years, 54 million. I don't think Cordell Flott's getting 3 years, 54 million. I mean, I think honestly, what his best case scenario is sign like a 2 year deal, play really well, and then that next contract, maybe he gets something like that. But I don't
One
think
for 12 million type of thing.
1 for 12, 2 for 24, something like that, and
Right.
show that no, I'm really worth more than this. And if you want me for more than these 2 years, extend me after the first year and let's bump this up. I don't think he's shown enough yet to get that kind of, Paulson Debo showed more than Cordell Flott has shown before we actually signed him.
Agreed. I again like the layout last time that I joined you guys a couple of weeks ago, we agreed Wandale not gonna happen. The issue is now is you're gonna get into too many holes, which is why I think that running back is definitely out.
Totally.
Not putting
It's got to be totally. I mean, okay, and this is combine related too. And this is a question I have for both of you too. Was with the talk of trading Kayvon Thibodeau. The thing is, if you trade him, don't we have to fill that? There's a hole there, isn't there? So what do we do? I mean, it's really because in this age of the game, it's okay to have multiple edge rushers. It's okay. And I'm thinking a new scheme that these guys are going to do great together. And matter of fact, I know I heard this too, that Abdul Carter played a lot inside this past season. And I'm like, okay, can we do something like that? Can we? I don't want to get rid of Thibodeau because I'm looking at the combine, looking at the edge rushers there. Is there a guy there who can take his place?
No.
Well, there is, but
yeah,
if we
they
take
just have the same problem.
That's our fifth pick. There's not a guy that can take his place at 37 or 105. If we did, it would be with that fifth pick. And now that means we just exchanged problems. Right. We didn't get better at any place. We just took a already strong position group and swapped out one guy for another, and it's still a strong position group. I don't think that's how you get better.
No.
The only thing I like about trading Kayvon, and I don't want to trade Kayvon, the only reason I would do it is because it would save us $14.5 million against the salary cap. So again, if we're at a place where there's somebody like a Jalen Watson, the Chiefs cornerback, who's saying, I really would like to play for you guys, but I need to make 20. And we don't have the 20, but trading Kayvon Thibodeau allows us to have the 20, then I would consider it. But I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to get, like you said, having 3 edge rushers I don't think that's even a luxury. I think that's a need.
No, that's a necessity.
Yes, I think 3 is the minimum that you want so that they stay fresh all game long. You want to have them having, 40 snaps each instead of 55 or 60 snaps for 2 of them.
I'm 100% in agreement, and I can't figure out with the scuttlebutt smoke coming out of the combine what problem we're solving. So that's what if you sign a running back, what problem does that solve? It doesn't. If you trade Kayvon Thibodeau for a 4th-round draft pick, what problem does that solve? Nothing.
It creates a big hole.
And so
it creates a big hole.
What's Tyler Linderbaum going to cost coming out of the combine? Because that's when all these deals are happening. $22 million. What problem does that solve? Is it an upgrade? Yes, but you do have a 2nd-round draft pick, and it's coming in his 3rd year. That's there. That hey, I hear you. Clay and I had 14 cups of coffee talking about how terrible this guy is. He was getting better. Like he was. So like you're not you're gonna abandon the 2nd round. Is it 2nd or 3rd for
second? He was a 2nd.
Gonna abandon a 2nd-round draft pick in the 3rd year. His 3rd year. That was. I don't see the part that's worrying me now out of the combine is it with the first 2 picks. I'm not hearing what problems we're solving. Is my issue right now.
Right.
Run stuffing. Is that going to be solved by anything you've heard so far? Nope. It's not. Playmakers, Kenneth Dale and Clay put us in a sleeper hold for 9 months. Gave us the stone cold. They would not take no for an answer.
I know.
That we would not draft someone that would have the ball in their hands as much as Mazo and I. We just want to be razzled and dazzled.
Exactly.
We want to buy our kids a jersey for Christmas that is not in the 70s. We want something. You just can't. They're not there. You're gonna draft. You're gonna draft Tate higher than Malik Neighbors for him to be behind Malik Neighbors. So that doesn't make any sense. So I guess that's my question to for you guys, or what I'm thinking about is I love the defensive players. The Ohio State Big Four, is one of my coworkers that is a big time fellows listeners now is saying, he said, bring up the Big Four from Ohio State, figure out you get 2 of them. They could get 2 of the 5.
They could. They could.
That'd be exciting.
Cade McDonald could last to 37, or we could trade up a little bit.
Right.
Get him at like 33. Or
no trade up in this draft. No way.
Well, I'm just saying we could.
You could.
That's a possibility.
So,
I mean, we couldn't trade up, Casey. We couldn't trade up using one of Clayton's, his methods.
I promise I'm not going to make any Tennessee.
We got 6 guys, and we're gonna solve all these problems another team has, so we can have your 1st-round pick.
No Tennessee references today. I promise.
What I was gonna say is agenda item number 8 for me was the Titans did make a trade with the New York team.
Yes, they did.
The Titans cannot leave New Yorkers alone, and vice versa.
And they gave up the guy I wanted.
Because Wan'Dale Robinson is going to go to the Titans.
So is Illuminor.
And so is Illuminor.
Yeah.
They cannot stop bottom feeding off the NFL.
Yeah, that annoyed me that they gave up T'Vondre Sweat. That's who I wanted.
Right, yeah, Sweat, yeah. But is there, other than Wilkinson, I always say his name wrong, Christian Wilkins. If he doesn't come, who in the combine can take that spot? Because we need somebody up the middle.
Lee Hunter.
Okay, we're gonna end this episode about right here. Big ups to my man Casey from the gym. We appreciate you coming on as a special guest. And Casey, you came up with a great point that the Giants' moves should be, hopefully, fulfilling a need, not just a want, but a need. That's a great point. And Clay from Brooklyn, he's always coming up with some great points. Appreciate you, Clay. I'm your man Mazo from, your man Mazo with Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. I have a point. I got a question for you. And it's a question I just left off with it's about Christian Wilkins. He would fill, if we could get him, he would fill a great need the Giants have on the defensive line. So the question is, should the Giants go after and look to sign Christian Wilkins? Or if they can't get him, who do you think the Giants could get to help out on the defensive line? Because Dexter Lawrence needs some help. Dexter Lawrence needs some help out there because they're double and triple teaming him on practically every play. So Who do you think the Giants should get to fill the need of a big defensive lineman to stop the run on the Giants defensive line? Who should they get? Put that down in the comments. Take a moment, put that down in the comments, and we'll visit that again in our next episode. Again, big ups to Casey from the gym. Appreciate you, special guest. Clay from Brooklyn, always my man. And I'm your man Mazo. Football with the fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Until next time, y'all. Peace. Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.